The Kenise and Marc Show. The Kenise and Marc Show. Make sure you tune into the Kenise and Marc Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Kenise and Marc Show. I'm Kenise.
I'm Mark.
All about relationships. It's so nice to see you, Mark.
Yes, it's been a minute.
You look hot.
I am hot. Did a lot of running around today.
I know. But so you run around for a lot of people. You were helping people out?
Yes. A few of my friends got into a pinch today.
Yeah.
And they needed my help.
Yeah.
Which is part of our
Topic.
discussion today,
Yeah,
right?
it's about our topic. But so today we're going to talk about chivalry. Chivalry is dead. So when I first brought up the topic to Mark, he was like, what's that?
Right.
Because it's dead, ladies. Chivalry is dead.
We just didn't call it that in our culture.
So what did you guys call it in your culture?
It's called being respectful, having manners. You don't hear that word anymore. Manners. That's old school terminology.
But isn't like manners is like what you teach your kids, like have manners? But what about like being a gentleman? Did you guys
Those
use
are
that term? So about
part of
manners?
having, yes. You know, as you're getting older, you know, my parents taught me, you know, my dad, and I watched how my dad treated my mother. You know, opening up the car door, you know, opening up doors, all those things. Just, and, you know, if you really want to take it back, you know, the men back in the days, they would tip their hats. You know?
Well, because people wore hats, like the top hats
Right,
back
so you
then.
tip your hat, you know, too. And folks don't do that anymore.
You know, because we don't wear hats.
I'm talking about men, not women.
No, I mean men don't wear hats.
It's sure men wear hats.
No.
I'm wearing a hat.
Okay, but that's different.
No, that's not different. That's my whole point. Your generation is just so clueless that it's like, you know, the way hats. This is a hat. You're talking about the dressy hat.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
doesn't matter. But if you had a hat on, out of respect,
yeah,
you tip your hat.
Did you tip your hat?
Did I do?
No, do you tip your hat now?
No.
So
I do. I show other ways of especially when it comes to women. I don't care who's in my car. I make sure they get in my car and they get out my car. It doesn't matter who it is. Especially like.
You mean like get in and out by opening the door for
right,
them?
opening the door.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Or when going to a restaurant or whatever. You know, that's just something I've come accustomed to doing for years.
Opening the door for them.
Yeah.
What about walking on the outside of the sidewalk?
Yes. I'm a stickler about that.
Yeah.
If we're walking and I'm closest to the street
Right.
as a man, so in case something goes down, I need to protect. If we're walking, I need to be able to protect you.
Right. But a lot of guys don't know that, so maybe we should
You're right.
explain that. So, I mean, why do you open the door for women, the car door? Why do you open the door for, going into a store or a restaurant? And why do you, what was the other thing?
I guess it's, that's a good question. Why do you do it?
Yeah, why?
All I know is that we were taught that. I don't know if it's because you don't want, because women are carrying their pocketbooks or whatever. You're carrying something, so you just open the door for a woman. It's just one less thing she has to do.
So for the ladies because I know some men that don't do that, Mark, they don't open the door. They get out of their car and they stand there waiting for you to get out of their
nowadays a lot of guys, they just pull up to the house and because that was in the movie with
Act Like a Lady, Think Like a
yes.
Man?
Yes, a man pulled up and she's like standing there like indignant, like you're gonna really just sit there and watch me get in your car?
Right.
Yeah, that's because that hasn't been taught in this generation.
Right. So, and that I think part of the show and what we want to bring to life is to help our audience get a better feel of this whole chivalry thing. So, what was the third thing we talked about? So
But my issue with it also is that it's directed at everything's about the men. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what are you all doing?
We're looking all dainty and beautiful
Right.
over here, like hello, like little flowers sitting in the corner.
Right.
But you see, this is going to what you said about the women. It's mostly about men, but a lot of women, I think this day and age, a lot of women feel that, okay, I don't need you to open the door for me. I got this. I can handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need you to walk on the outside.
Right,
that independence. So I think that's the reason why this all went away. Because women that feel that I don't need you to open the door for me. I don't need you to pay for me. I don't need you to walk on the outside.
Yeah, that Me Too movement is something else, boy.
I know, but I think so some of the things I think is considered chivalry for all of the gentlemen, young men that are looking at the show, and ones that are even married, because I hate it when I'm at, like, sitting in a parking lot and I see, you know, the poor woman trying to get into the car and he just goes in, sits right down in the car, and she's like struggling to get inside. Like, he should at least open the door. So opening the door is important. I feel where the woman comes in handy, Mark, or what's the woman's role in this? I think she should be polite and be thankful and show that, you know, that I'm really grateful that you're doing this for me.
Instead of acting like, you know.
Is that like, this is your job, right?
As another example that I know has gone away, because I see it, even though I don't take it anymore, the trains and the buses. You know, men have no problem sitting, like, if a woman gets on the bus, and especially if she has bags or whatever, it's like, you know, you're supposed to get up immediately without even thinking. Let the woman have the seat. That doesn't happen anymore.
I had a friend of mine who was in the train, and he said a woman was pregnant who came in, so he just got over and said, "Ma'am, you can have this." And she's like, "Nothing's wrong with me." She's like, "I can stand." And he was like, "Okay," and he took his seat back. So again, I think women, we're the ones who ruined it for the men. So when we come back from commercial break, we're talking a little bit more about what are some chivalry acts that the guys can do.
The Kenise and Marc Show. The Kenise and Marc Show. Make sure you tune into the Kenise and Marc Show. Kenise and Marc.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kenise and Marc Show. Today we're talking about chivalry, and chivalry is not dead, because today, before we started recording this show, I saw this gentleman do a couple of things that would be considered chivalry, which is kind of like taking the role as a guy, and kind of, I think it's very sexy, it's very masculine when you can see a guy like open up the door, and a guy who like steps up and, like, you know, takes his place at the end of the sidewalk when you're walking. So a few things, you brought up a few, so we want to leave some practical stuff for the guys out there, because you agreed, Mark, that a lot of guys, we don't practice this. And I think the reason why, and this is not based on any statistics, but I think the reason why this is not practiced anymore is because of some women. You know, we tend to be strong, and we are assertive and aggressive, and we're like, no, we don't need you to do that. I got the door. I don't need you to cover me. you know. So could be a little bit us. So what are some practical things that you think for maybe somebody young that's looking at this show, a young gentleman that wants to do better?
If you're in a relationship, pump your woman's gas.
Oh yes, that's a good one, Mark.
Yeah, you know,
so
especially like if you guys are out and you're in her car, and she pulls up to the gas station, you're a passenger. You know, it really doesn't matter. But definitely if it's her car, pump the gas.
Definitely, I love that one. Give me a high five for that one. Now you got a star in my book for that one, Mark. All right. So we got the pumping of gas. You got the opening the car door. So when she's coming to the car, you should open the car door. And when you arrive at your destination, you should get out of the car.
If you're going into a restaurant or wherever you're going to, you make sure you get there first. Pull the door open, let her walk through.
What about when you're at a restaurant and then she gets up to go to the restaurant? Do you stand up?
No.
That was a long pause.
I'm being honest, thinking about that.
No, but do you
Because now when we get there,
if
if you're not sitting in a booth and you're sitting at an open table,
we're sitting at a table.
I'll no.
Okay, so there you go. So you're gonna help her with the seat. But sometimes some of the restaurants, like those like 5-star restaurants, the whoever shows you to the table, he pulls out the seat. They put the napkin on your table. But if you sit down, you're like, okay, Mark, I gotta go to the ladies' room, and I get up. You don't get up when I get up?
No. You could. I mean, and back in the day, I'm just being honest.
Okay. Because I know back in the day, the gentleman would stand up, you know, when she's leaving, and he would stand back up when she's coming back. You ever seen what's the movie? Pretty Woman.
Oh yeah.
She goes to the red, and all three of them like get up, and all three of them sit down, and they get up again.
Now
So,
some guys do.
I think that would be nice. I've never been out with a guy who's done that for me. So, if you want to date me, you should get up and go to a restaurant. Okay, what else? I love the pumping of the gas one.
Yeah.
The walking outside. When you're walking in a sidewalk, always
walk on the
they
sidewalk,
walk
you
towards the street.
The street, right.
hmm How about when she's cold and she's
Yes,
like
I've done that.
shivering?
Yes, I've done that. If I have a suit on, I have, you know, suit, jacket, and everything, I'll take my.
Should you
jacket off.
ask? Should you ask her, or just take it off and
But
put it
if
on
I
her?
see that she's cold, I'll
Yeah.
just put it around.
You see,
It's like-
that is sexy. That is sexy. Sometimes you'll be like, you cold? Oh no! I just got all these
I'm just
goose
over here,
ones slapping you on the
shivering
face.
for no reason.
I know one guy who
My
asked me
teeth
that.
are just clattering because they feel like making
Are
music.
you cold, Kenise? My eyelashes are icicles.
Yeah, she'll be alright. She ain't
Okay.
cold.
Okay, so jackets,
Take my
I
jacket off.
think that is very sexy. I think don't even ask to pump her gas. You just when she pulls up in the car, she's driving, get out of the car, pay for the gas. Wouldn't it be funny if you go around and ask where's your credit
Yeah,
card?
right. And a good
Yes.
gentleman will, if you're out to dinner, you're gonna pay for the dinner, brothers.
Yes.
Pay for the dinner. Don't have
Always.
can we go half tonight?
No, we're not going half tonight. No. No, no, no.
I never, you know, you can't do this.
My sister, who's gonna be married almost 9 years, I think next year is their 10th anniversary. Her husband, when they dated and even now, never allowed her to pay for a single thing. I mean, for his birthday or whatever, if she said, I'm gonna treat you, that's fine, but whenever they go anywhere, he always paid for her. And I think that's very nice of a gentleman to do.
Yes.
It's under responsibility,
Especially
but
if, you know, now it's one thing if you're struggling, you're having a hard time, but
yeah.
if you're doing pretty good, stop being cheap.
Stop being cheap.
You know, just take care of it.
Just take care of it. You heard Mark. I think we gave some really great tips.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But I think it's so important for young men that are watching the show, and even to take some of these examples, because there's a lot of guys that are not doing it.
Right.
So if the guys that are looking at this show actually do it, you guys will definitely be ahead of everybody else.
yeah.
And for the young ladies that are watching the show today, that they're like, oh, now you know what to look for.
Stop being so strong.
Right, and I think on our side, because when Mark and I talked about doing this show, Mark was like, this is like one-sided, it's mostly for guys, but I think you want the guy to do it, or the guy that does it for you, when we, as the women, we're thankful and we're gracious about it. We don't feel like, oh, well, you didn't close the door for me, like, what's wrong with you?
That's good.
Alright guys, so we thank you guys for joining us today for this episode. Check out our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook. You can find Mark, also his website, his personal website, and my personal website at the end of this show. Thank you guys so much for joining. We love you guys.